Part 1. The patrol ship that crossed the line. The blackness of space was silent. It always was. No sounds, no wind. Just stars. Lieutenant Vire sat in the command chair of the small patrol ship. Carrick 7, his long green fingers tapped the screen in. Front of him, bored. Space patrol near the edge of the galaxy was always boring. Too boring, they called it. The edge. It was the last stop on the galactic star map. After this, the maps ended. There was nothing. No planets, no travel lanes. Just one thing. Earth, everyone knew the name, but no one talked about it. The patrol routes ended there. No ships went beyond. No trade. No visitors. No exploration. Map just stopped. Why does no one go past Earth? Vire had once asked in the academy. His instructor had gone silent. Then said one word. Don't. That was the answer everyone gave. Don't cross the line. Don't fly toward Earth. Don't ask. Why? Just follow the patrol routes. Stay away. But today, something strange was happening. Carrick 7 to Patrol Command, said VR. We've reached Grid 9. No movement detected. The voice of command answered in a flat tone, acknowledged. Maintain position. Vire sighed and looked out the window. Earth was still far in the distance, just a small blue dot on the long-range screen. It didn't look dangerous, just quiet, empty. The ship's other 2 crew members, Pilot Reen and Engineer Jarn, were in their seats, half asleep. Nothing ever happened out here. They had been on this patrol for 6 months and seen nothing but stars. But today, something was different. The sensor screen blinked. Contact, Vire said, sitting up. Wait, no, it's gone. Jarn leaned over the ship. No, just a blip. It came from Earth's direction. But it vanished before we could scan it. Could be a glitch, Reen said. This area messes with signals. Or maybe Veer said, we're not alone. He stared at the spot on the screen. His fingers hovered over the controls. Don't, Reen said. You're thinking about sending a probe, aren't you? I just want to look. We don't have to go in. You know the law? Earth's border is closed. We're not allowed to cross it. It's not even a drone. But why? Vire asked. We're explorers, scientists. Isn't that what we do? Didn't answer. Just looked nervous. Veer turned back to the screen. Slowly, carefully, he sent out a small drone. It flew from the ship like a silent silver bird, heading toward the forbidden zone. At first, nothing happened. Then the screen went black. What the Jarn said. We lost the drone. Signal's gone, Vire said. Completely gone. No trace. No feedback. It just disappeared. Shut it down, Reen said. Recall it. I can't. Vire whispered. It's already gone. The ship's lights flickered. What's happening? Jarn shouted. The floor trembled. The engines groaned. A strange hum filled the ship. Deep, like a voice too old to speak with words. Then the screens came back. But different. The star map changed. The edge of the galaxy began to shift. Earth was no longer at the edge. Instead, the screen zoomed in. New stars appeared. Hidden systems, ancient coordinates no one had ever seen. Then a ping. A location from Earth was sent directly to their ship. They didn't send a message. Just coordinates. What is this? Reen asked. Jarn's face had gone pale. It's calling us. The ship's computer suddenly spoke in a voice none of them had heard before. Return, it said. You see? You. The crew stared at each other in silence. Did the ship just speak? Veer asked. That wasn't our AI, Jarn said. That wasn't us at all. The humming grew louder. VYR stood. Prepare for emergency retreat. Engage hyperdrive. Negative, Reen said, panic in her voice. Hyperdrive isn't responding. The ship was locked in place. Something's holding us, Jarn said. Gravity field, but not natural. It's intelligent. The lights dimmed again. Then a strange image appeared on the main screen. It was a recording. It's from the drone. It had only recorded 2 seconds before going silent. The footage showed stars, then darkness, then something else. For a brief moment, A face appeared in the reflection of the drone's lens. A human face. Eyes, pale skin, staring back. No spacesuit. No helmet. Just a face. In the cold of space. Then the feed cut, Reen. Backed away from the screen. That's impossible. There was no one on board the drone, Jarn said. It was automated. Then what did we just see? Vire whispered. Suddenly all the ship's doors slammed shut. The main lights went off. Emergency red lights flickered. Then the voice came again. We told you not to look. You looked now. You see, the stars outside shifted again. Earth was no longer a blue dot. It was right there. Much closer. As if space had folded. The ship was now orbiting Earth. And they didn't move. Did we jump? Reen shouted. No, we didn't move, Jarn said. Space moved around us. The crew stared at the planet below. Clouds, water, cities, but no lights. No ships. No sign of life. It looks empty, Vire said, but I don't think it is. Signal came through. Not sound, not text, something else. Images, thousands of them. People screaming, machines burning. Cities crumbling, then silence. Then one last image. A fleet of ships, massive. Black, powerful, rising from Earth, disappearing into the stars. Then, darkness. The ship powered down completely. Not a single screen was on. No noise, no lights, total. Silence. Only the hum remained. They floated there, powerless, looking at a dead world that was somehow still watching them. After a long moment, the systems came back online, but the map was different now. Where the map used to end, new coordinates. Stretched beyond Earth, unknown stars. Hidden regions. Places no one had ever seen. Then finally a message appeared, not on screen, in their minds. A whisper. You are not ready. But you will be soon then. They were back at their original location, as if nothing had happened. No damage. Alarms, just the silence of space. Reen fell into her seat, shaking. Did that just happen? We have the recording, Jarn said. And new star maps. It's real. What do we tell command? Reen asked. Vire looked at the screen. Earth was once again just a small blue dot. I don't know, he said. But I think we've seen something we weren't supposed to. He turned to the others. And I think someone, or something, is watching us now. Outside, in the black of space, just for a second, something shimmered. A shape. A ship. Then nothing. The patrol ship floated alone. But they all felt it. They were no longer the watchers. They were being watched. The crew of Carrick 7 was quiet. No one spoke. It's not for hours. Veer stared at the empty screen. Earth was back to being a small blue dot, far away. But his hands trembled. His chest felt tight. Something inside him had changed. He had seen something. Not just with his eyes. With his mind, Jarn sat beside him, scrolling through the ship's system logs. I checked everything. Engines, AI, navigation, power grid, no errors. So you're telling me space moved us across thousands of light years and back, and there's no sign it ever happened? Vire asked. Jarn nodded slowly. Except for this. He tapped the screen. A single folder blinked, drone log 77. The recording from the lost drone. I isolated the feed, Jarn said. This shouldn't exist. The drone was destroyed. But somehow, the footage came back. Let me see it again, Vire said. Jarn hesitated. You sure? Vire nodded. The video played. It's just 2 seconds long. Stars silence, then darkness. Face, it was human. Cold eyes, pale skin, no helmet, no suit. Floating in space, staring back with no emotion, then dash static. Cut. Reen turned away. It's like it knew the drone was watching. It wanted us to see it, Vire said. That wasn't a ghost. That was a message. But Earth is supposed to be empty, Jarn said. There are no ships, no tech, no life signs. The planet shows zero activity. Then who's watching us? Reen whispered. They all turned as the ship's proximity alert beeped. Another drone? Vire asked. No, this isn't ours, Jarn said. He stopped. What is it? Reen asked. It's a reflection. Of what? Our ship, Jarn said slowly. Something is copying us. On the main screen, a shape appeared. Same size, same design, same lights. An exact copy of Carrick 7, floating just outside sensor range. What the hell is that? Reen whispered. It's us, Vire said. But it's not showing up on radar. No signal. No power source. Just sitting there. The lights in the ship flickered again. On the screen, Copy's lights flickered at the same time. It's mimicking us, Jarn said. Every move, every blink. Like a mirror. But wrong. Vire stood up. Magnify. The camera zoomed in. The copied ship came into clear view. Their ship. But not. The hull was rusted, damaged, burned. There were claw marks along the side. Deep, long, like something had tried to rip it open. Inside the bridge window, they saw movement. Something watching them. A shape. Human again, but not alive. The copy vanished. Not flew away. Not cloaked. It blinked out of existence. Like it had never been there. Jarn's hands flew over the controls. No trace, no particles. Nothing. That thing was warning us, Reen. Said or testing us, Vire replied. A long silence passed. Then a new signal came through from Earth. Again, not audio. Not text, images. This time much longer. Dozens of still shots. Flashing quickly. Faster than the eye could follow. Slow it down, Vire ordered. Jarn slowed the feed, frame by frame. Now they could see cities in ruins. Skyscrapers bent and broken. Machines melted into stone. Human bodies turned to dust, mid-dash step. An entire world was frozen in a moment of horror. But that wasn't the worst part. One frame stood out. A control room, deep underground. A single red button flashing, and above it, a screen with one word. Watching then another flash. A massive map of the galaxy, displayed on a wall. Earth at the center. But the rest of the map was burned. Literally blackened. Someone had tried to erase it. Wait, Vire said. Go back. Jarn rewound to the map image. Their Vire pointed. It's that symbol. At the edge of the burned space was a small mark. Triangle with a circle inside it. I've seen that before, he said. It's a human warning symbol. Reen said quietly. From their old languages, it means do not enter. Do you know where else I've seen that symbol? Vire asked. He turned to the wall and opened a hidden drawer under the control panel. Inside was a small notebook. Personal. Logs. He flipped it open. This was my grandfather's, he said. He served in the patrol too. He never talked about it. He held up a torn piece of paper, same triangle, same circle. Under it, his grandfather had written one sentence. I saw the sky blink. I thought it was nonsense, Vire said. Now, Reen's voice trembled. What if Earth isn't dead? What if it's not asleep? What if it's awake? The ship suddenly jolted forward. Inertial dampeners screamed, What's going on? Jarn yelled. We're being pulled again, Vire said. Direction, Reen shouted. Jarn's eyes went wide. Earth. The stars spun outside. The ship turned, moved, accelerated without input. It wasn't flying. It was being dragged. No. Engines. No control. We're locked, Vire said. Suddenly everything stopped. The ship hovered, and then descended. They were entering Earth's atmosphere. Clouds flew past. The heat shields activated. Wind howled. Alarms blared, then dashed silence. They broke through the clouds. Below them, a massive dark sea. Empty. Quiet. But, in the middle of the water, something floated. A platform. Square. Metallic. Ancient. Where are we? Reen asked. The ship settled over the platform. Engines off, suspended in place. A voice crackled on the intercom. Not computer, not alien, human, distorted, old, glitching. You trespassed. You looked, you will now learn. The main ramp began to open. No, Reen said. Seal it. Not opening it, Vire said. I'm not either, Jarn said. But the door kept opening. Wind roared in. They had no choice. Vire grabbed a light, stepped down the ramp. The platform was cold metal covered in rust. In the center was a black door circular, ancient and sealed then. It opened. A stairway led down into darkness. The whisper returned. Come see. They descended slowly. Each step echoed. There were no lights, but the walls glowed faintly. Symbols. Writing, human but old. Warnings? Finally, they reached the bottom. A chamber at the center, a glass wall. Behind its screens, thousands of them. Each one showed alien. Ships across the galaxy. Patrols, fleets, civilizations, all being watched by Earth. Jarn backed away. This is surveillance. From a dead world. Earth is not dead, Vire said. It's listening. It's been watching us all. One screen zoomed in their own ship. From moments ago, a perfect replay. Seen from above, then the screen went black. New text appeared. You broke the rule. Now the silence is over. A countdown started. 10 minutes. What happens when it reaches 0? Reen asked. I don't know, Veer said suddenly. The door behind them slammed shut. They were trapped. The voice returned one last time. We are still here. We remember what you forgot. We are watching. Far from Earth, in the deep center of the galaxy, a massive station floated among the stars, Council Prime, the heart of galactic power, home of the high races, place of law, order, and silence. Inside, 20 species sat around a round black table. No one spoke. A large screen floated above them, showing a single paused image, Earth. The room was cold. Even the air felt nervous. High Commander Zurek, leader of the Traylon Empire, stood at the center. 3 patrol officers, he said, made contact with Earth's zone yesterday. The room stayed silent. They were pulled across light years. Their systems were hijacked. A human voice spoke to them, and they returned. With data, no one moved. Zurek tapped a button. A new image appeared. It showed a map, a galactic star chart. But this one was different. This one had systems the Council didn't know existed beyond Earth's border. Zurek's voice was sharp now. Why does the map end at Earth? A long, heavy silence followed. Then, the oldest voice in the room spoke. It came from Counselor. Thyers of the Varnathi, a species older than most stars. His face was like smoke, always shifting. His eyes glowed dimly. He said only one thing, because we chose to forget. The council chamber went quiet again. Zurek stared. Forget. What does that mean? Counselor Thyers didn't look at him. He looked at the image of Earth. Then he sighed. A long time ago, he said, before the council even existed, Earth was not unknown. It was feared. Feared, Zurek repeated. Thyers nodded. Back when our ancestors still fought with plasma spears, humanity was already building machines that bent space and time. They didn't just travel the stars, they changed them. Then why did they disappear? Asked Zurek. Why erase them from history? Another counselor, a feathered being named Alrana, spoke now, because they asked us to. That made everyone stir. They asked us. To erase them? Zurek asked. Alrana nodded. After the War of the Unseen, Zurek frowned. That's a myth. A legend from before the records. It was real, Thyre said, and it almost ended everything. He stood shakily. They fought an enemy no other species ever saw, a thing older than light, a hunger that consumed stars, and they beat it. He paused, then added, but at a price. Zurek felt cold. What price? Thyres looked directly. At him, they burned their own history. They shut every gate. They erased their presence from every star chart. And they told us, never return. He never looked back. Never speak of Earth again. Zurek paced the floor. So we just obeyed? For thousands of years? No. There said. We survived. Zurek pulled up another image on the screen. It was from the Carrick 7 patrol ship. The moment when the human face appeared in the drone's lens, everyone in the chamber looked at it, the eyes still cold, a face that didn't blink. That is not a ghost, Zurek said. That is someone alive, watching us.
Watching us.
Appeared a live feed from deep space. Unclaimed systems beyond the Earth's border. Suddenly, a ship entered the view. Sleek, black, fast, human in shape. Unknown in technology, it didn't broadcast, didn't respond. It just watched, then it vanished. The council murmured in fear. What if they're waking up? Zurek asked. What if Earth is no longer silent? Counselor Thyres walked to a hidden panel on the floor. He touched it. It opened with a hiss. Inside was a locked black box, untouched for 10,000 years. We kept this, Thyres said, in case they ever returned. He opened it. Inside was a piece of stone, carved by human hands, smooth, cold. On it, a message written in old human tongue. The system translated it aloud. We leave to protect you. We remember the dark. We know it sleeps. If we return, it means the dark is back. Meanwhile, back on the Carrick 7, orbiting Earth. Vire sat in the command chair again, quiet, tired, but alert. They had returned from the platform. The countdown had reached 0, but nothing exploded. No alarms, just a whisper. Watch. That was all. Now, Earth floated silently below them. Still, cold, but alive. I feel like we woke something, Reen said. You think the council knows? Yarn asked. Vire didn't answer. He pressed a button. A message was already waiting in. The system? From command? Return to base. Do not share logs. Do not speak of Earth. Do not ask questions. Below that, a seal from the Galactic Council. Reen looked at Vire. They're trying to bury this, Chuan added. They've known all along. Vier stared at Earth. They're scared, he said. Reen swallowed. Should we be? Jarn looked. Back at the black planet, we already are. Suddenly, the ship's long-range sensors pinged. Something had appeared. Far away, a flash. A ripple in space. Not an explosion, but something waking up. Veer checked the coordinates. Not near. Earth far across the galaxy, in the uncharted zones, where the dark had once been. More flashes followed. 1, 2, 5. Whole stars blinking out, like lights being turned. One by one, Reen gasped. Is that them? Jern whispered. Or is it the enemy Earth warned us about? The message from Earth returned just one phrase. We are not your enemy, but you are not ready. At a final set of coordinates. Unknown space. Far beyond. The map's dot Earth was pointing somewhere, showing them the path. A hidden part of the galaxy. Do we follow? Green asked. Vire closed his eyes. Thought about everything. The warnings, the silence, the face, the platform, the map. He opened his eyes. Yes. He said, because Earth didn't vanish. He looked at them both. It hid. And now, it wants us to see why. Deep in space, in a forgotten corner of the galaxy, a ripple tore through the dark. It wasn't a sound. It wasn't light. It was something else. A presence. A memory. A warning. And it came from Earth. On board the Carrick 7, Lieutenant Veer and his crew watched the signal unfold. The star map changed again. New coordinate flashed on the screen far beyond Earth, deep into uncharted space. Should we go? Reen asked quietly. Vire didn't answer. No one moved. Then the voice came again, soft, human, and old. Come. See what remains. That was all. Vire looked at Jarn. Power up the jump drive. I don't know what's there, Jarn said. That's the point, Vire replied. The ship charged. Engines hummed. Lights dimmed. Then in a blink, Carrick 7 jumped. Across 1,000 light years, they fell into the void. When they came out of jump, space looked different. Wrong. The stars here were dimmer, older. Some were cracked and hollow-like. Their light had been sucked out. "Where are we?" Reen whispered. Fire checked the system. Coordinates matched the signal. "This is the place." They scanned the area. At first there was nothing. No ships, no stations, no planets. Just a cloud of dead satellites floating like broken bones. Jarn zoomed in on one. It was old, very old. Human lettering along the edge. SS Archangel Fleet. ID-001, this satellite is over 10,000 years old, Jarn said. But it's still working. They watched it slowly turn. A small red light blinked on its surface. The last piece of life in a forgotten machine. Then it stopped turning. The light. Blink dash blink. Pause. Blink. It's sending a message, Fire said. Morse code. Ancient human language. What does it say? Reen asked. Jarn translated. Run. Silence filled the ship. Run from what? Reen whispered, then the sensors screamed. Something was coming fast. From behind a shattered moon, they turned the cameras there. Rising through the debris was a ship, but not just any ship. A human ship, sleek, jet black. No lights, no markings. Hull shimmered like water, changing shape as it moved. That can't be, Jarn said. A class of ship hasn't existed for thousands of years. It looks like it was built yesterday, Reen said. No, Vire corrected. It looks like it was built tomorrow. The ship had no ID, no signal, but it moved with purpose right toward them. It's not answering hails, Reen said. How should we run? Vire watched as the human ship stopped, just outside weapon range. Then it turned slowly, not away, but beside them. Matching speed, matching heading. It's escorting us. Vire said. Reen frowned. To where? The black ship turned again and jumped. A new signal pinged on Carrick 7's. Play. Coordinates. A destination. Jarn looked nervous. If we follow it, we lose contact with the council. No backup. No help. VYR leaned forward. We've already crossed the line, he said. Now we see what lies beyond it. He gave the order. Follow that ship. The jump was shorter this time. When they arrived, they were no longer in open space. They were inside a system with no name. 3 dead planets circled a red dwarf star, and on the 4th orbit, shipyard. Huge, ancient, hidden in the shadow of a shattered gas giant, hundreds of black human ships floated around it. Not docked. Not asleep. Waiting. But none of them moved. Only the escort ship approached the center. Structure a massive tower made from black metal, shaped like a sword stabbing into space. Is this a base? Jarn asked. Looks more like a fortress. Reen said. Vier nodded. No, this is something else. The escort ship sent one final message. Enter. A large hangar door opened inside. Only darkness. They were being invited. The Carrick 7 slowly floated forward and entered the human vessel. The hangar closed behind them. For a moment, nothing happened. Then lights flickered on. Soft white old tech. Human, but polished, they landed. Ramp extended. No alarms. No weapons. Just silence. Are we seriously going out there? Reen asked. VR answered by walking down the ramp. The hangar was cold. The walls were smooth metal. Symbols lined the floor, old Earth emblems, fleet markings, unit IDs. Some in languages long extinct. Then, in the distance, footsteps. A figure stepped into the light. Human. A woman. Dressed in black, her skin was pale, like starlight. Her eyes glowed faint blue, but she wasn't breathing, not like them. A soft voice echoed through the room, not from her mouth, from everywhere. Welcome to the End Fleet. The woman stared at them. Then she spoke with her own voice, slow and calm. You saw the face. You heard the warnings. You followed the trail. She stepped closer. I am Commander Lan, Wartime Override Officer, Earth Command. You're alive? Veer asked. She nodded. I am a memory. And I am more. Reen stepped forward. This fleet, it's been sleeping for 10,000 years. Lan nodded again, waiting. For what? Jarn asked. Lan looked at the dead star outside the window. For the enemy to return. What enemy? Veer asked. Lan didn't answer with words. She turned and raised her hand. A screen behind her came to life. It showed something wrong. A black shape moving across a system, eating suns, tearing planets apart. Not with weapons, but with hunger. No. Ships could touch it. No shields could block it. Only the End Fleet had stopped it once. Lan turned back to them. It has returned, she said. And Earth cannot fight alone. Why now? Veer asked. Why show yourself? Lan answered. Because you looked. Because the Council is lying. The crew stood silent. What do we do now? Reen asked. Lan smiled, soft and sad. You help us wake the others. The stars outside the fortress were quiet, too quiet, inside the black shipyard. The crew of Carrick 7 stood with Commander Lan, the strange human woman who said she was both alive and memory. She had shown them the truth. A galaxy-eating enemy had returned, and Earth was no longer hiding. Now the room was silent as a screen showed the slow path of something. Coming, something massive, something ancient. It didn't move like a ship, it didn't have a shape that made sense. It shifted like a shadow without light. Where it passed, stars dimmed, planets cracked, and it was heading toward Council space. Veer stared at the screen. That thing. That's the reason Earth vanished. Commander Lan nodded slowly. Cannot be reasoned with. It does not speak. It does not stop. We named it only once. Jarn stepped forward. What did you call it? She turned her glowing eyes toward them, the unseen. The name filled the room like a cold wind. The lights flickered. Somewhere deep in the shipyard, metal groaned like something waking up. Reen crossed her arms, shivering. We thought Earth hid from the galaxy. Lan looked at her. We did not hide from you. We hid you from it. In the galactic archives, far from Earth, something stirred. A signal buried for 10,000 years suddenly activated. It was deep, below layers of code, behind firewall after firewall, hidden in the very foundation of the galaxy's communications grid. A forgotten distress call. Old human. It began to broadcast again, repeating across Council systems. No one knew where it came from, but everyone heard it, and it said the same thing. Over and over, we tried to map Earth. We saw too much. We opened a door. The door was never supposed to open. We failed. Do not follow us. On the Carrick 7, the crew listened to that message in stunned silence. Jarn's hand shook as he pulled the raw signal onto their console. This was buried under encryption. No one's ever cracked, he said. Only the End Fleet systems could decode it. Lan spoke slowly. That transmission was the last sent from the Stellar reached the first Council ship to explore beyond Earth. It vanished. No wreckage, no survivors. Veer leaned forward. So they reached Earth, they saw. Something. Lan nodded. It looked beyond the veil. What veil? Reen asked. Lan touched the console. The shipyard's window darkened, then lit up with a new view. Behind the system, behind the red dwarf, space twisted, not with light or heat, but something invisible. A ripple. It was like a mirror with no reflection, a piece of space that bent around nothing. The veil of silence, Lan said. Behind it is the zone that Earth erased from every galactic map. A region older than time. That's where the unseen sleeps. And it's waking up, Veer said. Lan's face turned grim, because someone else opened it again, far across. The galaxy, in a small, unknown listening post, at the edge of Varnathi space. A young operator sat at his console, frozen in fear. A new signal had just arrived. Not from Earth, not from Council. Territory, from beyond. The screen showed static. Then a voice scrambled, broken, full of clicking sounds and overlapping speech. But through it all, a single word was repeated. Feed. The lights in the station went dark. Systems shut down. The operator reached for the emergency beacon butt. His hand stopped. He couldn't move. He couldn't think. He was hearing whispers in his mind now and then. Silence. The station was gone. No flash. No wreckage. Just gone. On Carrick 7, the signal was detected but delayed by hours. Lan watched the data appear. Her voice dropped low. It has sent scouts. What kind of scouts? Jarn asked. Lan looked him in the eye. Not ships. Not creatures. Questions, Reen frowned. What? The unseen invades first with curiosity, Lan said. It reaches into minds, into systems, into thoughts. It asks only one question. Are you ready to be erased? The screen flickered. Jarn gripped his console. We're getting something else. Another voice came through, soft, female, not Lan's, and human. The words were simple. If you're hearing this, then Earth is no longer silent. We failed to keep the door closed. We left weapons, buried in stars. You'll need them. Wake the fleet. It ended. Silence again. Then the screen showed a new location. A black hole, far beyond the known systems. Lan pointed at it. That is, where we sealed the Ark. Humanity's last defense. Cannot face the unseen without it. What's inside? Reen asked. Lan whispered. Us. The rest of us. Hours later, the crew stood inside one of the deep vaults of the shipyard, behind glass. CHAMBER. Sumans floated in CRYO-sleep. Thousands of them, each one wearing old Earth command armor. Some had rank badges Vyre didn't recognize. Some weren't. Even human by standard Council genetic markers. Jarn pressed his hand to the glass. They're alive? Lan nodded, most of them. But we cannot wake them all until the Ark is brought online. Vyre stared at the sleeping soldiers. You were preparing for a war no one else even knew was coming. Lan stepped forward, her voice calm but firm. No. We were preparing for a war we already lost. Above the shipyard, the sensors activated. A fleet approached. Not human. Not Council. But watching the Varnathi. A scouting armada. 10 ships. Armed. Scared. Vyre looked up at the alert. They found us. Do you think they'll attack? Jarn shook his head. They're not here to fight. They're here because they're afraid. Lan didn't blink. Let them come. The truth must spread. And with a slow hum, the End fleet began to wake. The stars above the hidden shipyard began to shift. The massive human vessels that had slept for thousands of years now glowed faintly. Their hulls shimmered with ancient power. Their engines hummed with slow life. One by one they stirred. The End fleet was waking. Vyre stood on the bridge of Carrick 7, staring out the window at the impossible sight. Black Earth ships, sleek, heavy, perfect, began to move as if called by an unseen command. No noise, no radio, just motion. Purpose, he whispered. Earth isn't silent anymore. Behind him, Reen sat in her chair, staring at the sensors. We're detecting over 200 ships, but I don't know how. None of them have power signatures we can understand. No shields, no reactors, no fuel systems. They don't need what we use, said Jarn. They run on something older, something we don't even have a name for. Commander Lan entered. From the side chamber, calm as ever. They run on a hybrid of quantum dark compression and gravitic memory cores, she said. Technology developed after the first encounter with the unseen. Jarn blinked. I don't understand a word of that. You're not supposed to, she replied. Above the shipyard, a group of alien ships from the Varnathi scout fleet floated at a distance. They had not entered weapons range. They didn't scan. They didn't speak. They just watched. Then one of their ships sent a signal, a video request. Vire gave the order. Put it through. A hologram shimmered on the bridge. An older Varnathi counselor appeared, dressed in dark robes. His smoke-like face was familiar. It was Counselor Thyers, one of the oldest living members of the Galactic Council. "You have gone too far, Lieutenant Vire," he said softly. "You crossed a border for a reason we told no one." VA stood firm. "You lied to us. We protected you." "No," Vire said. "You silenced us." Counselor Thyers looked past him at Commander Land. His smoky face dimmed slightly. "You," said to her, "were never supposed to return." Land met, his eyes without fear, and yet here I stand. "And you're still hiding." A long pause followed. Then Thyers said the words no one expected. "The Council remembers." Everyone on the bridge froze. Land stepped forward slowly. "Say that again." "The Council remembers the war," Thyers said. "We remember Earth's sacrifice. We remember the last arc. And we remember what the unseen did to the stars." Reen turned to Vire. He knew all along. Land's expression didn't change. "Then you also know what's coming." Thyers nodded. "It is already moving. 10 systems have gone dark. We thought Earth was gone forever. But now, we see we were wrong." The transmission ended. The bridge went quiet. Vire sat back down. "So what now?" Land answered. "Now, the truth spreads. Earth is no longer silent. The galaxy must choose run or stand." In the dead center of the galaxy, the Galactic Council gathered in full for the first time in 10,000 years. The hall was packed. Representatives from every known race were present. The footage of the Carrick 7's mission played on a loop above. The Mirth's awakening, the End Fleet, the Black Ship, the whisper from the Ark, the face in the void, and finally the name. The unseen Counselor Thyers stood before them. He held up a piece of scorched metal earth alloy. It's carved with an ancient symbol, a triangle with a circle inside. "The humans gave us this," he said. When they left, he looked across the chamber. They did not disappear. They were not weak. They were not lost. He paused. "They were guarding us," murmur spread. One voice spoke louder. "They kept weapons from us," someone shouted. "They hid knowledge," another barked. "They let us walk blind." Thyers answered calmly. "Yes, because they knew. We could not face it yet." A silence fell again. Thyers finished his speech. "But now they speak again, and the stars whisper warnings. So we must decide. Do we ignore Earth again, or do we listen?" Back at the hidden shipyard, the End Fleet aligned. One by one, the ancient ships turned toward a set of coordinates Earth had just transmitted. No words. Just a path, the location, the last door, a sealed system beyond the edge of space. Unknown, erased from every map. That was where the Ark had been buried. Land stood on the command deck of one of the black flagships now. The Resolute Ant spoke to Veer and his crew through a private channel. "You lit the signal," she said. "You brought Earth's silence to an end." Jarn looked unsure. "But why us?" Land smiled faintly. "Because someone had to break the rule, and you did." Veer nodded. "We'll follow, all the way to the Ark." Land looked at him seriously. "There's something you must understand before you enter the last door." "What is it?" Vire asked. She hesitated, then said, "Not all of humanity stayed asleep." "What do you mean?" "Some went beyond the veil," she said. "To keep watch, to hunt, to stop what was left. They survived. They are no longer what you'd call human." As the End Fleet prepared to jump, a warning flashed across all ships. A ripple had been detected. From deep space, then 2, then 7. Within minutes, 50 systems had gone dark. Not attacked, not destroyed, just gone. No messages, no signals, just total silence. The crew of Carrick 7 watched the map as red zones spread across the galaxy like a virus. "This is it," Reen whispered. "It's waking." Vire stood. "Then so must we." The jump to the last door was ready. The End Fleet turned in unison. Black ships, silent, still marked with Earth's symbol as one they jumped. They arrived at the edge of everything, the last. Door was not a system, it was a wall, a gravity well so strong it bent space in every direction. And in the center is the Ark. Not a ship, not a station, but a sphere the size of a small moon, pure black, no surface details, no entrances. And yet it was alive. Lan's voice came through. This was built before we fell silent. It holds the last of Earth's true memory, the first weapon, the first story. And it's still working? Fire asked. No, she said. It's dreaming. As they approached, the sphere shimmered. A voice echoed from inside. You are late. Vier's eyes widened. It's talking to us. Lan nodded. The Ark never forgot. It waited. Then the sphere began to open, not with sound, but with light, and from deep inside. Something came out. Not a ship, not a weapon, but a person. Or, oh, something close. Floating, human-shaped, glowing like a star. Its eyes opened, and it spoke just 3 words. The war returns. The dark sphere, the Ark, hovered in space like a sleeping god. Its surface shimmered with silent energy. Rings of soft white light turned slowly around it. The ancient human fleet floated nearby, quiet but ready, and before the Ark, something had stepped out. A figure, human-shaped, glowing, floating without aid. Its body shimmered like stars trapped under skin. Its eyes were open, now bright white, with no pupils. The crew of Carrick 7 watched from the bridge. Fire felt like he couldn't breathe. What is that? Reen whispered. Jarn stared. It looks like a person, but it's not. Not anymore. The voice echoed again soft, inside their minds. I remember you. It was not speaking aloud. It was using something else. The voice was deep, kind, but it carried great weight, like every word came from a place beyond time. Commander Lan appeared beside VR on the hololink. Her face was pale. She's awake. She said, Who is she? Fire asked. Lan didn't answer right away. Then she said, Her name is Alari. She was the last of the Earthbound. Jarn looked confused. Earthbound? Lan nodded. The last generation of humans who chose to stay behind, to protect the Ark with their minds. You mean she's human? Reen asked. Lan answered slowly. She was born human. Died human. And then the Ark remade her. Ilari slowly floated toward the fleet. Her body radiated heat, yet space around her did not change. She wasn't bound by physics. Gravity bent around her without resistance. Fire watched the scanners. I'm reading energy spikes, huge ones. She's carrying more power than a dreadnought. She's not using anything, Jarn added. No suit, no device. She is the power source. Ilari stopped in front of the oldest of the Earth's ships, the Sentinel, a heavy-class command cruiser. Its hull lit up as she approached, as if recognizing her. A soft pulse passed between her and the ship. Then the Sentinel powered on. Lights flickered. Engines came alive. The ship responded to her presence. No crew. No interface. She's waking the fleet herself, Lan whispered. She's a commander? Reen asked. No, Lan said. She is the fleet. Suddenly the stars around them changed. A ripple passed through the system. Warning lights flashed on Ker YX-7. Ya-Aran shouted. Multiple contacts appearing out of nothing. Vire looked up. Coordinates. Jarn froze, then turned slowly. There. Not coming from outside space. They're coming from underneath it. More ripples. Dozens. Hundreds. Black shapes began to appear just beyond the system's edge. Ships, but not human. Not alien, wrong. They didn't move like ships. They bent light. Swallowed signal. They had no engines. No form, just long, sharp silhouettes that twisted as they floated. Reen's voice cracked. It's them. Lan confirmed it. The unseen. Valerie opened her eyes wider. The light around her pulsed. Brighter now. One of the unseen ships moved forward, slow. Testing it sent a sound, not a voice, not a word, just pressure, inside every mind. It felt like a scream held underwater. Jarn grabbed his head. It's inside my brain. Ilari raised her hand, and everything went still. The scream stopped. The pressure faded. All ships froze. Land spoke calmly. Now this is why the Ark was built. Not just to hold her, but to create her. Vyre stared at the figure. She's the weapon. Land shook her head. No, she's the answer. Ilari spoke again, directly into every mind present. We are not your leaders. We are not your gods. We are what remains when the last light refuses to die. More unseen ships appeared. The sky turned dark with them. They didn't speak. They didn't warn. They just moved forward. Vyre gripped the rail. You have to do something. Jarn yelled, shields up. Full power too, but before he finished, Ilari raised both hands. Her body lit up like a sun, and from her chest, a pulse of white light exploded in every direction. It wasn't heat, it wasn't fire, it was memory. Every unseen ship it touched stopped moving, frozen in space, silent. Then one by one they turned away. They began to retreat. Reen gasped. She scared them. No, Land said, staring at the display. She reminded them. Of what? Vyre asked. Land looked at him, serious and quiet. Of what we used to be. A message spread across the galaxy that day. Not from Earth Command. Not from the Council, from Ilari herself. A whisper heard by every species on every world. Earth is awake. The silence is over. The old enemy stirs again. We stand. The Council called an emergency broadcast. Even the races who had stayed hidden, the Eldari, the Krontuan, the silent orb dwellers of Io3 all responded. The name Ilari now meant something, and so did Earth. Later, in a private chamber aboard the Ark, Ilari stood before Vera and his crew. She looked human again, now less light. More fleshed, her voice was soft. You lit the flame again, she said. Because of you, Earth remembered. Vyre looked at her. Ow! Why did you wait until now? She looked sad. Because we hoped we didn't have to return. Reen asked, do we have a chance against them? The unseen, Ilari closed her eyes for a moment, then opened them. There's only one path forward. What is it? John asked. She turned to them, her gaze heavy. We go to where they were born. The stars were no longer quiet. At the edge of everything, where light failed and time bent, Earth's voice had returned. The unseen old, vast, patient had awakened, but so had the end fleet, and at its center was Ilari, born human remade. By the Ark, a living memory of what Earth once was, and what it would be again now. She stood before the crew of Carrick 7, ready to take them where no one else had dared go. To the place the galaxy had forgotten, the origin, the place where the unseen were born. You want us to follow you? There, Veer asked. Ellery nodded. Her eyes held the weight of 1,000 forgotten wars. The only way to end this is to return to where it began. Jarn checked the star map. That place doesn't exist. There's no name, no chart, just static land joined them on the bridge. It's because it's not in normal space. It's in the fold. A place Earth sealed during the first collapse. Reen frowned. Then how do we get in? Ilari raised her hand. The Ark responded. Thin slit of white light opened in the fabric of space, a doorway made of gravity and memory. This is the fold gate, Ilari said. It hasn't opened in 10,000 years. Only Earth keys can pass through. She looked at Vyre. You have one? Vyre blinked. I do. Ilari smiled softly. You brought back Earth's voice. The Ark has already marked you. And with that, the Carrick 7 became the first non-Earth ship to pass through the fold gate. On the other side of the fold, space was wrong. Stars looked stretched. Time slowed and twisted. The laws of physics cracked at the edges, and in the center of it all floated a dying sphere. Black, hollow, silent, the origin. Ilari whispered. It pulsed faintly. but not with light, with hunger. Vyre stepped forward. Is that alive? It was, Alari said, before we burned it. Jarn scanned the sphere. There's something inside, a signal. Reen's voice shook. It's speaking. A whisper came through the ship's speakers. We remember. You. We remember the fire. We remember what you did. Lan stood still. It knows. Alari nodded. It always knew. We just forgot. Suddenly the sky changed. Tearing open behind the black sphere, a storm of unseen ships poured through, thousands more than any fleet could fight. They swarmed across the fold like locusts, closing in. Too many, Jarn shouted. We need to jump. We can't, Lan said. This place folds time. There's no exit vector. Vyre turned to Alari. Then, what do we do? Larry's face was calm. We finish what Earth started. She floated forward out of the ship, into open space. Her body glowed like a small sun. The unseen paused. They recognized her, and they were afraid. Alari raised both arms. The arc behind her opened, and Earth's last weapon came online. It wasn't a gun. It wasn't a bomb. It was a memory engine. Pure consciousness, compressed and sharpened. It's the collective history of Earth. Every fear, every triumph, every war. Every moment when humanity chose to stand instead of fall, it pulsed out across the fold in a wave of truth, and the unseen began to scream. Not with mouths. With the sky, stars bent. Ships tore apart from within. They remembered the first war, the first defeat, the pain, the fire, the humans who refused to break, but it wasn't enough for every unseen that fell. 10 more arrived. The origin sphere pulsed a gangreer now. Dark tendrils began to reach outward. Jarn's face went pale. It's trying to consume the ark, Reen whispered. What if they pull her in? Then Alari spoke again, her voice now louder than thought. No, they don't pull me in. I take them with me. She entered the origin. A streak of pure light plunged into the black heart of the unseen. The ark followed, her closing behind like a seal, and in that moment, the fold collapsed. On the other side of space, outside the fold gate, Carrick 7 shook violently. Lights flickered. Space screamed. Then, silence. No more ships. No more signals. Just a new star. Soft, white, calm. Lan stared at the scanners. She did it? She whispered. Vyre stood at the window. He felt something strange in his chest. Hope across the galaxy. The effect was immediate. The unseen stopped. Their whispers vanished. The systems they darkened, lit up again. Worlds that had gone silent came back online. People stared at their skies and asked one thing. What just happened? And the answer came. From Earth. Not from a fleet. Not from a command tower. But from a simple message broadcast in every language, on every frequency. We are still here. Weeks later, Carrick 7 returned to Council space. They weren't fugitives anymore. They were legends. Earth had returned. The End Fleet had saved the galaxy. And the truth, the real truth, could no longer be hidden. Counselor Thyrus stood before a full chamber and spoke. Plainly, we feared Earth because it walked ahead of us. But now we know we were only walking because Earth once cleared the path, in orbit over a quiet blue planet. The Black Earth ships stood watch. They did not speak. They did not boast. They simply waited, because now the stars were quiet again. But this time, they knew who had made it so. No one questions why. The map ends at Earth's border. They just don't. Psst, until Earth speaks. And now it has.